You ready?
Ready's my middle name.
DreamWorks presents.
Remember, Poe, each generation teaches the next one. The art of Kung Fu lives on in you and now in these children.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation.
Today we're covering the first of the Kung Fu Panda specials, Secrets of the Furious Five.
Yes, and this special shows teaching new Kung Fu students Poe the importance of the art by going into the backstories of each member of the Furious Five. And it's awesome.
Yes. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and notification bell updates to future podcasts and more pause videos.
Yes, and this is something we really probably should have done long before now with how much you love this franchise.
Right.
And we finally got around to doing all the movies. And now we're doing the specials. So we have covered everything up until the movie comes out this year.
Right. And these specials have been out for quite a while now. And you can tell the animation quality is a little different, but it's not so downgraded to a point where it's distracting. It looks like a lot more of the money budget went into animating the 2D segments. So for here, Shifu tasked Poe with teaching some of these rabbit students a little bit of Kung Fu and the importance of it. And at first, of course, they are thinking it's all about fighting and kicking butt, fighting bad guys, and not much else. And then he tells them that even the Furious Five had to learn different lessons and finding their strengths before they became masters. So for each lesson, it was about each member of the Furious Five. They told about first Mantis, then Crane, then Viper, then Monkey, and then I think last was Tigress. And there was something that each of them learned that was a flaw they had and what became their strength.
Now, it was originally released as a DVD and later broadcast on NBC in 2009. So it was released in 2008. And it was really popular.
Yeah.
It starred the original voice actors from the movies, Jack Black, Dustin Hoffman, David Cross. And it also
I think that was it.
Right, and it also included Tara Strong and J.C. Chan, the son of Jackie Chan, doing the voice of Monkey.
Yes. So they had a few substitutes for a few of the members that did not come back for this, which actually works out because some of these stories take place when the five were younger.
And Randall Duck is Master Oogway.
Oh, thank you. And some of these stories take place when they were much younger, like when they were teens or kids. So it does make sense why not everybody was back here. And the animation for the 2D segments is really, really beautiful. They're short. It's like the only complaint. They're too short because you really get engrossed in how the style is, which I think is why when they did the other two specials, they made majority of them 2D because people really loved how the style looked.
Now as we mentioned, each warrior had their story. Mantis was first, and what I loved is each one was totally different from the other in backstory.
Yes.
And you absolutely loved every single story, and they were done so short, very short segments, but they were really powerful. Really gave you a sense of who each character was before they became the masters we know from the movies.
Right. And
just absolutely adorable. I would have loved for this to have gone on 3 times as long as it went. It
Right.
could have been much longer. I would have loved it.
Right.
So Mantis' story was first.
Right. And this one, he had to learn patience because he was impatient. Everything to him moved really, really slow. He was tasked with rescuing somebody from a gang of crocodiles, and he gets caught. And he couldn't break his way out of there fast, so he just had to wait. And when he was sitting there for days on end, I don't know how he didn't eat, days on end, and on way out, he knows time was moving faster than him, and he gained the wisdom of patience and why it was important instead of rushing through everything. Then the second one was Viper, who learned courage. And she was born without the Viper fangs like you see most of these snakes in this franchise have. And her father was known for being like this legendary master of the poison fang type technique. And when a criminal comes in with the armor that actually breaks the teeth when he tries to bite, she finds the courage to defeat this villain, but without the teeth, and she does it through her dance. So that's how she became a master with her own style without relying on strength in the teeth.
And that was really interesting. And then you had Crane next, and he needed to find his confidence.
Right.
And he was actually a self-deprecating janitor at the Kung Fu Academy until he was encouraged to seek enrollment.
Right. And it was seen that, he can't really do anything because he's a skinny bird, and they want really big, tough-looking animals to be the warriors for Kung Fu, and that's why he thought he didn't have a chance, and he found his strength in that, and there was a positive to his physique that was different from everyone else's.
Definitely.
And then the next actually was Tigress. I thought Tigress was last, but because she was the scariest. Tigress was next, and she was actually in an orphanage in the beginning, and people were scared of her. And her lesson, she had to learn to control her strength. People were scared because she could easily break things. She was the only predator-like animal in the orphanage amongst all of the lamb and rabbits and things, so she seemed scary. And people and kids didn't want to play with her. Nobody wanted to take her and adopt her.
And it was so sad in that short period of time. They made your heart just for her.
And Shifu actually comes in here and teaches her how to control her strength. Discipline, yes.
And didn't understand that. I didn't in the movie that he ended up adopting her.
Yes.
And it was like, oh, really? I didn't know that. How did I miss that?
Yes.
And then finally was Monkey.
Yes.
As we mentioned, that was voiced by Jackie Chan's actual son. And Monkey needed to learn compassion.
Right. Because they of course, did a nod to Monkey King a little bit, where he was...
Well, they had to.
Yeah, because Monkey, and he was a prankster. He really picked on a lot of the people in the village, and he never left, and they tried to run him out of town. Everyone they tried to use to get him out, he defeated easily, and they were really just tired of him and his pranks and pulling crap on people. So in this one, Uwe comes in and teaches him the lesson. And the bet was if he could prank Monkey, successfully prank him, outsmart him, he would leave. And if he didn't, then he would stay permanently. He would get to rob Uwe pretty much. And Uwe, of course, wins. And he's sort of humbled by this and agrees to leave and keep his word. But he also sees of how much disrespect he was causing to the people, and actually learns his lesson and said, well, you don't have to leave and be like this. You can use your tricks and jokesterness for good. And he uses them to actually defeat bandits and villains that come to the village and protects everybody. So instead of using it for bad, he uses it for good and learns why he needs to care for others.
Yes. And I like how at the end it came full circle. We learned about all of them, and then the students asked him about his backstory and how his first day of Kung Fu was. And then you would end up going into the movies themselves.
Right.
The first movie, getting his story. I think that was absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
And that at that time, it was a $10 million budget to do it. But you can imagine that this sold really well, and it was very well received on NBC when it aired.
Right.
It was worth the $10 million, and you wish that other franchises would take the time to make something as cohesive and additional that fits well already into the legend they've already built for the franchise so well. I mean, this was perfect. They couldn't have done anything better but make it longer.
Right, definitely.
And you're just caught up in what's going on, and even though each backstory is short, each one could have easily been developed into its own little movie, like a 30-minute movie.
Yes.
Very easily. It was just so well done, so well written. So they hope they have the writers Paul McAvoy and Todd Berger back
For more.
For
yes.
number 4. The
Yes.
Kung Fu Panda 4 movie, because this was just really brilliantly done. It couldn't have been done any better. And I love it. I absolutely
Yes.
love it. And we need more like this.
Yes, and I remember I only saw it one time when it was on a DVD as like a bonus. So I'm glad we got to rewatch this to do this because it was just as fun as I remembered.
I had never seen it. It was my first time, and I absolutely adore it. And I can watch this over and over. So if you've seen Kung Fu Panda Secrets of the Furious 5, let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you love it as much as we do?
Yeah.
Did you find it okay? Did it make you long for more Kung Fu Panda?
Yes.
Let us know what you think. If you haven't seen it, it's available on Netflix. No, on
Yes.
Prime.
Yeah, Prime and Netflix.
Prime and Netflix. And you probably can find it on YouTube as well.
Right. And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates, weekly videos, your favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm on Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.